Hello there, I'm Nadia Azmi and this is Nightline. Here are the top stories. B&M caps health insurance premium hikes at 10% annually. And Cabinet agrees in principle to resume MH370 search with Ocean Infinity. Good morning. Bank Negara Malaysia, together with medical and takaful health insurance operators, have reached an agreement to curb sudden hikes in medical and health insurance premiums. The measure ensures that about 80% of policyholders will see annual premium adjustments of less than 10% over a minimum of 3 years. The gradual adjustment is one of 4 interim measures to ensure the public has access to insurance products without sudden premium hikes. For policyholders aged 60 and above with minimum plan coverage, premium adjustments due to medical claims inflation will be paused for 1 year from the policy anniversary. Additionally, insurers and takaful operators must provide alternative products at the same or lower premiums for policyholders who wish to switch from their repriced plans. Companies that don't currently offer such alternatives must make them available by end 2025 with no additional underwriting or switching costs. B&M Governor Datuk Seri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur emphasised the need to address root causes of rising premiums driven by higher medical costs and increased utilisation of medical services. He said the interim measures will provide some temporary support to policyholders but stressed that broader health reforms must be expedited. The Cabinet has approved in principle the proposal from Ocean Infinity to resume the search for the wreckage of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 10 years after it disappeared with 239 people on board. The seabed search would focus on a new location about 15,000 square kilometres in the southern Indian Ocean. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that the location of the new search proposed by Ocean Infinity is based on the latest information and data analysis by experts and researchers.
Cadangan operasi pencarian oleh Ocean Infinity ini ialah cadangan yang kukuh ataupun kredibel dan wajar diteliti oleh Kerajaan Malaysia selaku negara pendaftaran pesawat MH370.
He added that the operation will be carried out on a no-find, no-fee principle, which means that payment will only be made to the company if the wreckage is found. The Transport Ministry is currently finalising the terms and conditions of the agreement with the United Kingdom-based company, and it is expected to be completed in early 2025. The Ministry was also informed that the appropriate time to carry out the search in the area would be between January and April. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 carrying 239 passengers and crew members vanished while travelling to Beijing, China from Kuala Lumpur on March 8, 2014. Beginning January 1st, the government will provide diesel subsidy for ferry and passenger boat operators, as well as roll-on, roll-off ro-ro ferries. It is expected to benefit some 40 operators at the capped price of RM2.50 per litre, with a maximum subsidy rate of 50 cents per litre. The diesel subsidy would be provided on strategic routes, namely in Labuan, Langkawi, Pulau Pangkor, Pulau Ketam, Pulau Tioman, Pulau Redang and Pulau Pinang. First claims can be submitted by the involved operators on or before February 20th. Among the conditions for applying for the diesel subsidy are that operators must be registered with the Marine Department and obtain diesel from a bunker or skid tank company approved by the relevant authorities. Eligible operators must also submit a diesel purchase quota application to the Diesel Subsidy Approval Committee at the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry. There will be no increase in electricity tariffs for all electricity users in Peninsular Malaysia for the period from January 1st to June 30th next year. This follows the government's decision to provide electricity subsidies amounting to RM5.96 billion to ensure consumer interests remain protected. The Energy Transition and Water Transformation Ministry said the government will allocate 2.38 billion ringgit in subsidies for the first 6 months of next year. It emphasized that the implementation of targeted electricity subsidies is the best approach towards reducing the government's financial commitments, ensuring these funds can be channeled in other forms of assistance to the people. At the same time, the government also agreed with the setting of the average basic electricity tariff rate in the peninsula for Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB) for the 2025 to 2027 period. This new tariff schedule is proposed to be implemented starting July 1st next year, involving costs exceeding 3.5 billion ringgit, which will be funded by the government. Additionally, the government will continue with the 40 ringgit electricity rebate program for hardcore poor households registered under e-Kasih with an allocation of 55 million ringgit. The government must practice prudent and careful spending to manage the rising costs of running the country. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the nation's revenue will also be managed efficiently to prevent leakages and corruption. Speaking during a goodwill visit and community feast at Pusat Pengajian Islam At-Taibin in Tanah Hitam, Cemor Ipoh, Datuk Seri Anwar highlighted that the recent salary increase for civil servants, which began this month, required an additional allocation of 10 billion ringgit from the government.
Untuk tahun depan ni, naik gaji, bukan gaji, naik yang berapa? Seluruh negara 10 bilion ringgit untuk 2025. Sebut bunyi 10,000 nak kena bayar, nak cari mana? Itu yang sebab kita kena jaga cermat wang ni, wang rakyat, wang negara. Jangan bagi orang curi duit, jangan ada amalan-amalan ambil komisen, ambil rasuah.
At the event, Datuk Seri Anwar, who's also the Member of Parliament for Tambun, announced a 1 million ringgit contribution for the development of Pusat Pengajian Islam At-Taibin. The allocation is in addition to funds already raised by the local community to develop the modern Islamic Learning Centre, which has been in progress since 2018. The facility provides opportunities for groups such as senior citizens and the underprivileged to deepen their understanding of Islamic studies. On another matter, Anwar has firmly stated that he did not interfere with the court's decision on Thursday to acquit and discharge Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor from charges related to money laundering and tax evasion.
Saya tidak menemui mana-mana hakim. Saya tidak bicara dengan ketua hakim negara dalam soal keputusan mahkamah. Kita hormati keputusan mahkamah. Kalau kita peguam negara merasakan perlu membuat rayuan, itu keputusan peguam negara. Okey? Tapi saya tidak fikir perkara ini harus jadi kontroversi.
On Thursday, Kuala Lumpur High Court Judge K. Muniandi granted Rosmah's application to quash all charges against her on the grounds that they were flawed and the prosecution failed to establish elements of wrongdoing in the charges filed. Meanwhile, the Attorney General's Chambers has initiated an appeal over the Kuala Lumpur High Court's decision on Thursday. Attorney General Datuk Muhammad Dusuki Mokhtar said in a statement on Friday that a notice of appeal was filed by the prosecution against the entirety of the High Court's decision, which will be decided by the Court of Appeal. Additionally, Rosmah is also currently appealing her conviction, 10-year imprisonment sentence and 970 million ringgit fine in a corruption case involving a solar hybrid project for 369 rural schools. The hearing of her appeal is scheduled for March 5th next year at the Court of Appeal. Bukit Aman has confirmed that investigations are underway into the Nick Share and Common Apps investment scams. The scams came to light following the recent arrest of a Malaysian man and his Thai wife, believed to be the key suspects in the scams in Songkhla, Thailand on Tuesday. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said 24 reports had been filed regarding the Nick Share scam, which involved losses amounting to 8.21 million ringgit. Police also received 2 reports related to the Common Apps investment scam with losses totaling more than 340,000 ringgit. Razaruddin said investigations are still ongoing into both investment schemes, while the connection between both individuals currently held by Thai authorities to these schemes in Malaysia are also being probed further. He added that to date, several subjects and entities have been prosecuted over these two syndicates. On Thursday, it was reported that Thai police believe they had cracked down on a major scam syndicate that laundered over 5 billion baht or 650 million ringgit through fraudulent transactions following the arrests of a Malaysian ringleader and his Thai wife. In Selangor, actor Muhammad Nizamuddin Ahmad, better known as Along Cham, was charged at the Sepang Sessions Court on Friday for possessing marijuana. The accused pleaded not guilty after the charges were read before Judge Ahmad Fuad Othman. The 41-year-old artist was charged under the Dangerous Drugs Act and may face life imprisonment or a maximum 5-year jail sentence, along with no less than 10 strokes of the cane upon conviction. The comedian is suspected of possessing 58.23 grams of marijuana at his home in Cyberjaya, Selangor last Saturday. The court did not allow bail and set January 27th for case mention. In the Sepang Magistrates Court, the father of 4 made the same plea for possessing 2.07 grams of marijuana at the same place, time and day. Magistrate Muhammad Bukhari Muhammad Ruslan allowed him a 2,500 ringgit bail with one surety and set February 28 for case mention. A former nurse claimed trial at the Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court on Friday to a charge of cheating a woman over a fraudulent adoption. The accused, 40-year-old Mahira Muhammad Yusof, made the plea after the charge was read before Magistrate Aina Azara Tun Arifin. Mahira was accused of cheating the 38-year-old victim, who had handed over 15,950 ringgit in stages at a house in Kepung between January 20th and June 7th. The mother of 4 was charged under the Penal Code and faces a maximum 10 years in prison and whipping along with a fine upon conviction. The court allowed a 6,500 ringgit bail with one surety and fixed February 13th for case mention. Police have arrested 3 male students from a local higher education institution in Sri Iskandar, Perak for allegedly assaulting an 18-year-old victim. According to Perak Tengah District Police Chief Superintendent Hafizul Helmi Hamzah, the incident on December 15th caused the victim to sustain multiple injuries, including a cut to his ear, swelling above his right eyebrow, bruises on his left arm and leg, and red marks on his abdomen and neck. Following a report filed by the victim's father, 3 male suspects aged between 18 and 20 were arrested and remanded for 3 days to assist with the investigation. Preliminary investigation suggests that the assault stemmed from misunderstandings and provocations. The case is being investigated under Section 147 of the Penal Code for rioting. Malaysia's inflation rate for November 2024 has decreased to 1.8%, down from 1.9% in October. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSIM, this is the first decline since August 2021. In a statement on Friday, DOSIM Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzir Mahidin attributed the decline to a slowdown in price increases for key sectors such as health at 1.2% and transport at 0.4%. The main group of housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels showed a higher increase in November 2024 at 3.2%. Food and beverages continue to be the main inflation driver, recording a 2.6% increase year-on-year compared with 2.3% in October. On inflation at the state level, inflation for 5 states were above the national inflation level of 1.8%, namely Pulau Pinang, Pahang, Selangor, while inflation in Johor and Sarawak grew by 1.9%. Malaysia's passenger traffic is expected to fully recover in 2025. MIDF research predicts that by next year, the number of passengers will not only return to pre-pandemic levels, but will also exceed them by 4%. The firm said the total passenger traffic achieved an 89% recovery in November, with the domestic volume at 83% and international at 94%. It is expected that the passenger traffic in December will range between 8.5 million and 10 million, supported by the year-end holiday season, which brings the full-year figure to between 93.6 million and 95.1 million. It added that the international sector's recovery has consistently outpaced the domestic sector over the past year. Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad also continues to report new services departing from the country's major international airports each month, along with increased flight frequencies, reflecting a positive trend. The UK government borrowing fell to $14.06 billion last month, the lowest November figure in 3 years, as tax receipts rose and debt interest payments fell sharply. The Office for National Statistics (ONS) said on Friday that public sector net borrowing was $4.15 billion, lower than the same month last year. Economists had predicted borrowing of $16.2 billion for the month, making the actual figure a positive surprise. The new data also revealed that central government debt interest fell to $3.66 billion in November, the lowest level for the month in 5 years. This was largely because of recent falls in the retail price index, a measure of inflation which tracks the prices of goods in shops.
Ruang maya tanpa sempadan. Di sebalik kemajuan dalam talian, timbul ancaman privasi dan keselamatan. Kupasan dan perincian isu pelesenan media sosial. Soal rakyat, Sabtu 21 Disember, hanya di TV3.
Causeway Derby ended in a stalemate. Sports after this breather.
Ibu tu dia tak sedar apa dia buat. Otak dia tu dah kena kawal. Kita kena selamatkan ibu.
Tu, Dak. Macam ada yang tak kena dengan Dak ni. Dari luar nampak macam Dak, tapi dari dalam nampak ngakau hujung.
Jadi Rasdan tu, aku tahu siapa Rasdan dan aku tahu siapa Dak.
Kau okey tak?
Squad X, Jumaat dan Sabtu 9 malam di Lestari TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Keadaan mula tenang, tak ada apa-apa. Tiba-tiba benda tu meletup. Saya rasa panas. Ramai orang awam bertindak agresif dengan membaling batu, menendang dan memanjat kenderaan, memancitkan tayar dengan pisau.
Setiap OKU dia berlain-lain ability. Daripada kicking guna kaki, bela guna tangan, breaststroke.
Saya macam terkejut jugalah. Dia boleh pergi buat aktiviti scuba tu dengan keadaan tangan satu kan.
Kebanyakan mereka menjadi sukarelawan disebabkan niat ingin membantu.
Hidup ini umpama lautan bergelora. Ada yang dipukul badai rahsia.
Awak tak sempurna.
Di lambung ombak derita.
Tija jaga Mami ya.
Tenggelam dalam kehilangan. Dan terumbang-ambing mencari sinar.
Tasbih ini bagi manfaat pada awak.
Cerita Rama setiap Sabtu di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kucing anda ada personality superstar? Inilah masa si comel sertai pertandingan Cat Fashion Week. Hantar video 1 minit paling bergaya. Email ke kontes@tv3.com.my atau muat naik ke media sosial sebelum 31 Disember. Jangan lupa hashtag kucing terpilih bakal melangkah ke pusingan seterusnya dengan hadiah menarik. Info lanjut di TV3 Malaysia. Jadikan si bulus anda super meow terfamous.
Welcome back. Sports now, football, the 2024 AFF ASEAN Championship. The national team's campaign came to an end after a goalless draw against Causeway rivals Singapore, which saw them knocked out of the competition at the Bukit Jalil National Stadium on Friday. Buoyed by thousands of local supporters, Malaysia came within inches of breaking the deadlock 4 minutes before halftime, but Daniel Ting failed to convert on the far post. And despite Malaysia having several opportunities and get the crucial 3 points, none materialized as the Singaporean defensive line held the ground. With the result, Pau Marti Vicente's men finished third in the group behind Singapore in second and Thailand in top spot, who both advanced to the Final Four. Still on football, the Portuguese Primeira Liga. Angel Di Maria scored a brace as Benfica defeat Nacional 2-0 to climb to second spot in the league on Friday. After a goalless first half match, the breakthrough came in the 59th minute after Benfica were awarded a penalty following a handball error inside the box by Ulysses Wilson. Di Maria then calmly converted from the spot, sending goalkeeper Lucas Franca the wrong way to give his team a 1-0 lead. The in-form Argentinian then sealed the deal 15 minutes later after capitalizing on a mistake by Gustavo Garcia to calmly slot the ball into the net, securing the 2-0 victory for the Eagles. Bruno Lage's side are now in second place with 35 points, just 1 point behind leaders Sporting Lisbon. On to tennis, the 2024 Next Gen ATP Finals. Despite being the youngest player in the field, 18-year-old Joao Fonseca continued to make his mark at the tournament in Jeddah on Thursday. The Brazilian earned a convincing 4-love, 4-love, 1-4, 4-2 victory against American Le Nathan, improving to 2-love in the blue group and securing his place in the semi-finals. Fonseca will next play Jakub Mensik, who lost his 2 opening matches in his final round-robin match. Earlier, top seed Arthur Fils eased past Jakub Mensik in the round-robin stage. Last year's beaten finalist Fils bounced back from an opening loss on Wednesday to dispatch the third seed 4-2, 4-3, 4-2. The 20-year-old, who already has 3 ATP titles to his name and is ranked 20 in the world, is back on track after losing his opening match to Fonseca. The Frenchman will take on 19-year-old Tien in the next round. At least 9 dead after truck carrying chemicals catches fire. The details when Nightline returns.
Hidup ni banyak pilihan. Samalah macam cerita pilihan bulan Disember. Ada yang menghiburkan hati.
Soal siasat ayah ni kenapa?
Jodoh WhatsApp.
Cerita dia aku nak kau mengajar kat kelas vokal aku.
Studio Awi. Ada juga yang menyentuh hati.
Doktor cakap aku tak ada donor.
Demi hati Arjuna.
Kau buat apa dalam rumah ni? Kau berapa siap?
Dia kembarku. Pilih cerita pilihan setiap Sabtu 2 petang di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Semakin meningkat usia, semakin tinggi risiko kerapuhan tulang.
Apabila proses penuaan berlaku, kita akan nampak penyakit-penyakit sendi seperti penyakit tulang rapuh.
Faktor genetik juga antara puncanya.
Doktor pernah scan tapi doktor kata sebelah kaki dia tak ada. Kaki dia yang belah kiri tu rupanya dah terlipat. Dia dah patah dari dalam perut.
Tulang rapuh. Kami bincangkan dalam Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Dia macam sakit dalam serangan tiba-tiba kan. Aku tak tahu nak buat macam mana dah kan. Takut ni semua kan. Lepas tu panggil ambulans mai. Sedih jugalah dengan keadaan macam tu kan.
Harapan saya nak cari duit kan. Nak bantu keluarga. Nak bawa abang dengan mama pergi umrah.
Masa sedih lah. Dia nak kena tanggung. Saya abang ke dia. Nak kena jaga adik dia.
Welcome back. At least 9 people were killed and dozens injured on Friday when an LPG tanker exploded after colliding with a truck in Jaipur, India. The tanker was taking a turn towards Bagru at the Ajmer-Jaipur highway when a speeding truck hit it from the rear, causing the explosion in the tanker that instantly caught fire. The blaze was so intense that it soon engulfed several vehicles and some shops along the road. According to officials, 9 people died in the mishap. However, the toll is likely to go up as rescuers comb through the wreckage. 36 other people were also brought to the hospital for treatment. The United States House of Representatives has rejected a spending bill backed by President-elect Donald Trump, raising the likelihood of a partial government shutdown. The bill was voted down 174 to 235 on Thursday evening, following opposition from nearly all Democrats and 38 hard-right Republicans, who took the unusual step of defying the President-elect's proposal on the grounds that it would add trillions of dollars to the $36 trillion national debt. However, Trump had pressured lawmakers to tie up loose ends before he takes office on January 20th. Without it, the government faces prosecutors in Manhattan on Thursday charged Luigi Mangione with a federal crime of murder using a firearm, 2 charges of stalking, and a charge of using an illegal gun silencer. The federal murder charge could carry with it a possible death sentence, though prosecutors have not said whether they intend to seek the death penalty in the case. New York does not have the death penalty, and if Mangione is convicted on the most serious state charges there, he could face a sentence of life in prison without parole. Gaza's health ministry on Friday said at least 77 Palestinians have been killed in Zionist attacks across Gaza within the last 24 hours. The Zionist military leveled residential buildings in the Sabra neighborhood, killing at least 4 civilians. Military operations are also still ongoing in the north, in particular in the town of Beit Lahia, while attacks on 2 school shelters in Gaza City killed at least 15 Palestinians. Meanwhile, a new report titled Gaza Death Trap by Doctors Without Borders says there are clear signs of ethnic cleansing by Israeli forces in the Palestinian territory. The International Medical Humanitarian Organization is urgently calling on all parties once again for an immediate ceasefire to save lives and enable the flow of humanitarian aid. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as Macau marked the 25th anniversary of its handover from Portugal to Chinese rule with a flag-raising ceremony on Friday. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and stay safe.